You probably tell yourself it's just one night. A little costume, a little candy, nothing to stress over, right? But what if Halloween is the moment that tips your child's toxic load over the edge? We're talking face paint with neurotoxins, costumes laced with hormone disruptors and plastics that send the wrong signals to your child's body. I'm Dr. Yvonne Burkart, and as a toxicologist, I've spent decades studying how everyday chemicals affect our health. This video will show you exactly how to spot these hidden risks and the simple steps you can take to reduce your child's exposure without being the mom who ruins the fun. So you can protect your kids, still enjoy the magic, and finally stop second guessing every October or any other dress-up occasion decision for that matter. Because it's easy to dismiss Halloween as harmless fun. After all, it's just one night, right? But that single night of costumes and candies carries more risks than you might realize. Besides that, why are companies making products meant for kids with harmful chemicals in the first place? If they cleaned up their formulas, we wouldn't be having this discussion. Plus, consider the possibility of kids who might attend multiple Halloween or costume events throughout the year, and you'll see how these exposures aren't as isolated as they seem. They can start to add up. Picture this, a child dressed up as their favorite superhero, wearing a brightly colored PVC mask and sparkly face paint, bouncing from house to house collecting candy. To us, it looks like pure joy, but biologically, it's a different story. Children's skin is thinner, more permeable, and far more vulnerable to chemical absorption than adult skin. That face paint might contain trace levels of lead or cadmium, both of which are known neurotoxins. And the costume could be made out of PVC plastic that's infused with phthalates, which disrupt hormone function, which your child could be inhaling for hours. And if they're wearing a mask that covers their entire head, then that means their airways are completely enveloped in whatever chemicals are off-gassing from it. And the synthetic wig could be off-gassing volatile organic compounds right next to their airways too. And the longer these products stay on their body, the more time these chemicals have to seep in. In just a few hours, these materials can contribute to a toxic load that builds over time. That's why one night matters more than what we think. I remember wearing plastic costumes most of my life because that's all we could afford and we weren't too big on face paint. And I had this one Cabbage Patch doll costume that had a PVC mask and also a plastic outfit that I wore. It smelled awful, but I needed to have it. And now I realize that horrible smell was the plastic and the chemicals that were being released. You probably assume that anything sold in stores must be safe because it's supposed to be, only it's not. But what if the items designed for kids are among the least safe? So let's look at face paints, for example. You walk into a store, you see something labeled as kids face paint with cartoon characters on the front, and it looks harmless. But flip it over and you might notice something small. For external use only, this product is not a cosmetic. That label means it's considered a novelty item, not a cosmetic. FDA regulates it, but only requires that the color additives are approved for skin use. Halloween makeup and face paint are often imported from China and can carry heavy metals like lead, nickel, cobalt, and chromium. These metals are absorbed through the skin and they pose real risks, especially for kids. Now remember that the FDA does not routinely test novelty cosmetics or face paints, nor do they enforce ingredient label rules. Canada and Europe ban lead in makeup, but the United States does not. And that gap leaves parents unknowingly putting their children and themselves in contact with products that contain toxic heavy metals. Plastic wigs, glitter sprays, glow sticks, all of these can often carry the same risks. They fall into a category that sounds like fun, that sounds pretty innocuous, but they're unregulated. And to make this worse, the loophole is rarely disclosed on the front of the packaging. Parents assume that kids' products means that they've been tested and approved when the opposite is true. So what exactly should we be looking out for? These 4 ingredients pose the biggest threats to your child's health, and they're shockingly common. First, heavy metals like lead and cadmium. These show up most often in face paints and have been linked to developmental delays. In fact, studies like this one and this one have confirmed that many costume cosmetics contain metal levels high enough to raise concern. And in 2014, the FDA tested 10 face paints and found heavy metals in all of them. Next, PVC and phthalates in plastic costumes. These chemicals are known endocrine disruptors, which mean they interfere with hormone function, especially hazardous for growing bodies. And masks are another culprit that are often overlooked. According to this study, volatile organic compounds or VOCs released from certain masks can trigger headaches, dizziness, and even long-term neurological damage. The study actually looked at those horse masks that cover your entire head and only have a few small holes for you to breathe through. Not only does it get really hot in those masks, but your head is wrapped in a chemical cocktail. Then we have fragrance chemicals, parabens, microplastics, and formaldehyde releasers that can hide in scented sprays, hair dyes, and glitter gels. Titanium dioxide is a common ingredient in aerosol hair color sprays, and it might seem like a great alternative to wigs, but just to remind you, titanium dioxide is an inhalation carcinogen, and inhalation exposure is common for aerosol products. And finally, flame retardants. These are especially common in wigs and masks and have been associated with hormone disruption and cognitive issues in children. So that reassuring non-toxic label might seem like a green light, but what does it actually mean, and can you really rely on it? So let's say you're at the store and you're holding a face paint that says non-toxic. You want to believe it, you want to get it. I get it, I'm a mom too. But here's the reality. Most Halloween claims aren't regulated by any governing body. So without third-party testing or certification, non-toxic is just a marketing term. Anyone can slap it on a package. Greenwashing is especially rampant in seasonal items because parents are shopping quickly under pressure and assuming someone else has done the homework. But even well-meaning brands often use vague or misleading language. Terms like hypoallergenic, natural, or gentle. These do not guarantee safety because there are no federal definitions of them. Unless you see a third-party certification like MadeSafe or EWG verified, assume that the marketing is telling you nothing. And there's no regulation behind most Halloween product claims unless, like I said, it's backed by a third-party certification. After years of research and personal trial and error, I have refined a quick system that helps me stay confident every Halloween without being the mom that's like the fun police, okay? So the first thing I do is a smell test. If anything has a sharp, plastic, chemical odor, that stays outside or in the garage until the odor is gone. And that smell is often a clue that VOCs or other harsh chemicals are present. Second, I wash and run all costumes and accessories through the laundry before anyone wears them. Even items that look clean can carry residues from manufacturing, packaging, or storage. And this applies to all new clothes, not just Halloween costumes. And third, I'll apply a protective barrier on my kid's skin before any face paint goes on. For example, a thin layer of shea butter or our usual low-tox lotion helps to create a little bit of a buffer between the paint and my kids' faces. So I'm happy to have found a few safer face paint options that I'll link in the description below. Fourth, I have my kids wear a base layer under the costume for several reasons. First, this provides a buffer between their skin and the costume, and it helps to keep them warm because it can get pretty chilly on Halloween night where we are. And after trick-or-treating, we like to do a warm bath, not only to wind down, but to also remove any residues from costumes or makeup. I personally love the micellar water by Mustela for removing makeup from both myself and my kids, and I've gone ahead and tagged it in this video. And one more thing, I love to upcycle and reuse as much as possible. So wigs, buckets, costumes from past years, we keep them. And it's not just about saving money and reducing waste. It's also about limiting exposure to freshly manufactured materials that often contain more volatile organic compounds. And these steps might seem small, but they make a huge difference when it comes to lowering our toxic load and giving me and my kids peace of mind. Avoiding toxins is really important, but no parent can dodge them all, and that is not the purpose of this video. So how do you help your child's body deal with what they're exposed to? So here's the part that gets missed in a lot of conversations, and that is young children's detox systems are underdeveloped. Their livers and kidneys are doing the best they can with what they've got, but they don't yet have the same capacity to break down and eliminate harmful chemicals like adults do. That means even tiny amounts of exposure, the kind that we would barely notice as a grown-up, can linger in their bodies much longer. Picture this. Where an adult's detox system might function like a busy 4-lane highway, a child is more like a 1-lane country road. So when toxins come in, their body cannot clear them as quickly as we can. And so that buildup doesn't disappear. It ends up accumulating slowly and setting the stage for long-term health effects that we might not see until much later. And that's why Halloween matters. It's not because it's catastrophic on its own, but because it adds to the pile and the kids are the ones having to carry it. So clean filtered water is step one. It supports both kidney and liver function, which are essential for eliminating toxins, nutrient-rich foods, especially those high in sulfur and fiber, antioxidants. These are supplying building blocks for your child's detox pathways. Think of them as cruciferous vegetables, berries, and leafy greens. Air filtration at home is another unsung hero because indoor air can actually be 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air, and improving the air quality supports not only your child and your lungs, but also overall health and resilience. So now you know how to lower your child's toxic exposure during Halloween. What about the hidden dangers in their school backpack, the ones that they're carrying every day? Watch this next video to uncover 3 back-to-school items that most parents overlook and the simple swaps that protect your child without stress or overspending. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.